Okay, so we want to recreate what we just did in general. Let's say we have x squared plus bx and some constant over here. We have some quadratic we want to solve. What I would like to do is I want to group this and this in some fashion so I can rewrite it as x plus some constant, x plus a squared. So, what rule did we use last time? We used this rule. X squared plus 2ax plus a squared equals x plus a squared. So I want to apply this rule to this situation so that I can somehow rewrite this using the rule. Okay, so let's think about it. X squared, b, 2a. When could I use the rule? Well, if b happened to be 2a, then I would just have to add a squared. So, if b equals 2a, what would that mean for a? What would a have to be? Well, a would have to be b over 2. And what would a squared be? Well, a squared would just be b over 2 squared. So, what do I want to do? I want to allow a to be b over 2, and I want to add b over 2 squared. Okay, so let's try that. I would have x squared plus bx plus, the thing I'm adding is b over 2 squared, but I can't just add it. I also have to subtract it. And then what could I do? Well, I'm looking at these three terms, and I know they are of this form, so I could rewrite this as x plus a, which is b over 2, squared. Don't I still have a term here? Sure. You might be saying, well, you just made something that looks far uglier to me than what we started with. I had something that looks very simple. It's just a harmless x squared plus bx. And what did you do? Now we have fractions inside squares. This looks horrible. We have a difference that we didn't have before. Keep in mind, this is just a constant. This is just going to be some number depending on b. So depending on what b is, what I'm going to have is some constant. I have a square and a constant. That means if I have any constants, if I want to set this to a constant on the right, all I have to do is move this over to the other side, and I have a square equals to a constant, and then my problem will be done. So, what is going to be the process? Well, I'm going to take a equals b over 2, and what I'm going to do is not add a, but I'm going to add a squared. And I'm going to subtract a squared as well, because I can't just add something. If I want it, it would change the problem. But I can always add and subtract because I'm always allowed to add 0. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this rule to rewrite this as x plus a squared, and this is going to be my minus a squared. So we'll look at some examples of doing that next.